Hey, what's up? Dave here with another exciting tutorial, and today I want to talk about Character Creator 5, some of the new things, just kind of like look at the interface and dive right in here. So I just opened up Character Creator 5, and on this side I got the content browser, I got the modify panel over here. You can see there's also scenes and bones and things like that. If you don't have those same windows, you can go to the window and you can see here they all are, okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and jump into the content browser, and there's two things. There's the template and the custom. Okay, template is basically the default stuff, and then the custom, if you save stuff, you would have to be in the custom tab. So I'm going to be in the template side. And then over here, I have item and pack. Okay, now pack is going to be kind of like collections of things. So I'm going to go into that, and if these are grayed out, you're going to have to double click on it to load it. Okay, it might take a little bit of time, but once it's loaded, then you can kind of use it. You can see here's textures and here's characters and some things. I'm going to double click on the characters, and you can see if it says CC5 on the bottom right hand corner, that means that it's ready for all the new stuff that Character Creator 5 has to offer. If it's something else, it'll still work. It's just not going to be able to take advantage of the new features. So let's go ahead and kind of see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to double click on this guy, and he's going to load into the scene. And here he is. And if you're familiar with Character Creator 4 or 3, so far nothing's really new as far as, too much exciting stuff here. Because I can go down here and I could go like this, and I could have him walk. Okay, great. And if I hit play, I can see, yeah, he's walking. That's cool. Okay, I can also come here and say pose, and I can say a pose, and now he's kind of at the default. Again, nothing too exciting there. I could come into cloth, for example. I could give him a shirt and pants. And now if I have him walk again, I can see that it'll just work. Okay, again, nothing too exciting. Okay, if I go back to motion, pose, a pose. If I want to take the shirt or pants off, I just go here to scene, and then here you can see I can take that off and the shirt. Now you might say, well, wait a minute, Dave, what happened to his body? Well, I feel like I can just click on this, and I can come over here, and what it's told to do is it's told to make anything that's not visible, like under the shirt or under the pants, it makes it invisible, okay? So now to bring that back, I'm simply going to go to, I'm going to click minus here. I want to go to edit mesh, face, and I'm going to go down here to show all. Okay. Now that brings this whole body back. So don't let that scare you. Again, nothing too fancy right now. So let's kind of get into the cool stuff of Character Creator. So I'm going to come back here, and let's kind of talk about the geometry. Okay, I can see that the wireframe is selected right now. Again, to move around, I'm going to hold down Alt, right mouse click, or Alt and middle click, or zoom in with the wheel. Okay, I can see this wireframe. And if I wanted to not see the wireframe, I could come over here, and I could come here, and you can see that I can say normal. Okay, now I also have to get out of edit mesh. So if I get out of edit mesh here, there we go. Now I'm not seeing the wireframe. And if I'm in, again, scene, and now I'm on the character's body, I can come here and I can say wireframe, okay? Or I could say wireframe unshaded. There it is. Now you might say, well, Dave, I don't really care about the wireframe. Well, I think the wireframe is going to be important in Character Creator, in the new one. Why? Because, I'll just go to this. I can see down here, it says Subdivision Level 1, okay? And if I want to change that, I can come up here, and here's Subdivision Level 0, okay? And I can see that he's less detailed. It's going to be kind of hard to tell if we're not seeing the wireframe. I can go to this one. He's going to be actually more detail. And if I go to this one, it's going to be the most detail, okay? Now, what am I talking about? Well, if I go to Subdivision Level 0, and if we look at the wireframe, I can see that that's how big the squares are, or the polygons are, the wireframe. And if I go to the next one, I can see that they all have been divided in half vertically and horizontally, so it's quadruple the number of polygons. And then if I look at it again, now it's quadruple that number of polygons, which is significantly different than previous versions of Character Creator. Okay, before they weren't able to support the different subdivisions. Why does that matter? Well, I'm going to go back to subdivision level 0, and I'm going to get out of this. And if we want to do high density detail, okay, so let's kind of talk about that for a second. So I'm going to come back. Let's look at this guy. And if we look at his body, I can go over here in the modify panel, and I can go to the morphs. Okay, and if I'm on the morphs, if you're familiar again with Character Creator, if I click on his body, I should be able to go in here, and I should be able to give him some changes, okay, just by moving sliders. And if I click on, okay, so I can click on the morph button here, and if I click on the morph button, that means that I could select any part of them, and I could update it, okay? So again, if I click on, so if we look at our sliders on our character, I can see that it looks like there's nothing here. But if I scroll down, I can see here's the HD, or the high density sculptors or sliders. And I can open this up, and you can see here, here's male muscular, for example, or male skinny. Now, if I click on this, I'm going to use the abs as the example. Okay, this first one here. And if I move this over, I can see that the abs appear. Now, if we look at this, let's take a look at really what's happening. So if I put this subdivision level at 0, okay, meaning that it doesn't have a lot of detail, if I move this, we can kind of see a hint of that. Why? Because if I go like this, again, if I go back here, turn on the wireframe unshaded, there's not a lot of polygons to be pushed around. But if I increase this subdivision, I can see that it's going to have more polygons to push around, so it's going to make it more detailed. So if I make it even more polygons to push around, now it's even got extremely more detail, okay? And again, to see this, I'm going to just go back here to normal. Now I can see that, I can see all that detail, right? So in the other versions of Character Creator, again, it only had subdivision level 0. So now we're going to be able to see this, and you can see how it sticks out a lot better. If I had subdivision level 0, it's going to be very jagged, and it's not going to look very good. So we have these what are called high density details that we can do. And even the muscular arms, I can start adding that, and you can start to see that detail really come in. And again, it's really going to come through on the higher subdivision levels, okay? And what's cool about that too is even the wrinkles on the forehead. So if I come over here, this is how the wrinkles used to be handled, okay, with what are called wrinkle maps. And if I hover over this, you can see that when the forehead kind of does a wrinkle, it's going to show that wrinkle with a texture. And you can see here, here's another one. Here's another texture of a wrinkle, and here's another texture of a wrinkle. So that's how Character Creator used to handle wrinkles. Now what's happening is that we can actually do it natively because there's so much geometry there. In other words, because there's subdivision level 2, that means that when we look at or make a wrinkle, it's actually going to push geometry around to form the wrinkle. And to demonstrate that, if I go into Modify, Edit Facial, if I come in here, and if I grab this, okay, if I just grab something and move it up, okay, and again, I'm just kind of moving it up kind of extreme, this is not forming a texture of a wrinkle. What it's doing is it's actually pushing the geometry around. Again, if I go like this, it's actually pushing the real geometry around. There's enough geometry to actually form those wrinkles, okay, which is significant because, again, if it was at subdivision level 0, which is what the other ones had, there's not enough geometry to be pushed around to form the wrinkles, so they had to be faked with texture maps. So now there is enough geometry to be pushed around, so the wrinkles are going to be a lot more realistic. Okay. The other thing that's cool with, again, I'm turning this back off, is the textures can be a lot more realistic. Okay, I'm just going to undo those wrinkles on the forehead. Okay. For the textures, if I come back into the content template pack, I want to make sure that the CC5 HD textures is loaded. And if I open that up, I can start to see some different things, including skin. And in the skin, I can see there's 4K skin. There's also 8K skin. Okay, 8K just means that it's 8,000 pixels by 8,000 pixels instead of 4,000 pixels by 4,000 pixels, which is actually 4 times the size of the texture maps before. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and add this 8K skin to this guy. And it might take a little bit of time. And then I have to go into my preferences. I'm just going to hit apply to allow my computer to show this texture. Okay, because again, depending on the computer that you have, this could slow it down significantly. But the detail is absolutely incredible. So I just paused the video. It took a little bit of time to load. And I want to go here to preferences. And I'm going to make sure that if I scroll down here, let's see here. That my that it's showing, so quality I can see is high, and let's see, texture. Yeah, if I scroll all the way down here, let's see. Yep. Okay, the max texture size, I can see here it is. You want to make sure that that's 8192, so that's 8,192 pixels by 8,192 pixels. Otherwise, it's not really going to be showing you the full resolution. Again, that can really slow down your computer. But if I zoom in, we can see that there's a lot of detail on the skin. Okay, it's crazy how cool this detail is. And if you also wanted to confirm that, if I go back to the modify panel here, and if I go to this tab on the body, I can come down here, and if I hover over this, I can see that that face is 8192 by 8192, ensuring that I do have the highest possible texture loaded on here, so I'm actually seeing all that detail. Okay, so again, the fact that the mesh has a lot more geometry is significant, and the fact that the texture has been upgraded significantly is huge. Again, I can see that I'm looking at it in subdivision level 0, and you can see how kind of faceted his ear is. If I push that up, subdivision level 1, we're going to have more detail. And if I go subdivision level 2, now subdivision level 2 with an 8K map, I mean, that's going to be the kind of the best detail that we're going to be able to get. So again, really, really cool stuff here. There is more stuff in here, obviously if you poke around, but I feel like that's really the main things that I wanted to cover as far as some new things in Character Creator 5. So let me know what your thoughts are, and I'm super excited to dive more into this program. But yeah, awesome job with coming up with this, Relusion. I think you guys are awesome and doing a great job. So keep it coming, and hope to see your projects. All right, talk to you later.